when I look at my own life and what people have done to each other and, to me and whatever, I rather that pain have not existed at all.
Do you truly think, let's say, if there would be no meaning at all, would you truly say that it would be better to not exist than to exist?
Yes.
I spent the last 2 years searching for meaning, searching for something that matters, trying to find some rational argument that I could hold on to, so I have something, something that matters. But now, I would say with 99.9% certainty that nothing matters. Still, I'm not giving up. I will still keep searching. But because of this, I talk a lot to all the people I know about this. And so one of my friends, Udesh Haburaduwa, a master's student of cognitive science and artificial intelligence, he challenged this belief because whenever we talk, it feels like we have a pretty similar basis on understanding of reality, but our conclusions are so different because he believes that there is meaning and I don't. Or at least I believe that nothing matters except searching for meaning, and that it's really unlikely that we're going to find it. So today we sat down and built really from the ground up. We built a solid fundament of what we see reality being and what our conclusions are from this, and why I get to the conclusion that it's really likely that nothing matters and he doesn't. So this was an amazing conversation. It's one of my new favorite episodes. And yeah, in the end, when we came to a conclusion, because we came to one, I actually cried because it was really emotional. And yeah, I just love this conversation. I love talking to Udesh. Guys, enjoy.
Yeah. Recording now.
All right, cool. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Okay.
Nice to see you.
So back again. So today I'm going to interview you, basically. So I mean, but the point is like let's work together. Like start from the bottom, and like I want to like really understand your thinking process and like how you actually like how you go about your life and what you think, how you structure what's important, what's not important, how you make decisions, what's your framework for doing all these things. So let's do it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
So first, like I wanted to start with like at like the build like a ground level and then build up. Okay.
So what exactly are you trying to do today?
So what I'm trying to do is trying to understand how you navigate the world. Basically. Yeah. Like before I do that, I need to understand if you and I mean the same thing when we talk about the world. Because otherwise, there's no point even starting this conversation.
Yeah.
Right. So let's start from that as a ground level.
What was the point that made you want to, like, what was the moment where you were like, okay, I have to understand something? Was there like
it's hard to explain. It's like a tension, it's like an internal tension, like a spring, where it's like I'm trying, it's the same feeling I get when I'm trying to like when I'm reading a paper or like when I'm in a lecture, and I sometimes like maybe because of time constraint or like I have to do some other stuff, I like skip over a couple of things and then I try to keep going forward, right? And then if you skip over a couple of things and then you try to keep making forward progress, and it's like that thing you skipped is now attached to you with a spring. Yeah. And you're pulling super hard to keep moving forward, but that thing it's getting harder and harder to keep moving because you have to come back and deal with this thing, whatever it is.
To understand it, yeah.
Understand it.
And this is, you feel this with my behavior.
Yes,
there's like something fundamental that you like missed in the beginning, and now you get to know me more and more. I missed something.
Okay. That's the only feeling that I have. So I'm like, how do I get to the bottom of this? Okay.
Yeah.
So I tried to reason about it on my own, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I just talk to the guy and let's try to understand. It'll be helpful for everybody to clear up.
Do you have like a specific thing that made you? Okay,
I have no idea. I think that's the thing. I'm trying to like this entire conversation is hopefully to figure out what the fuck this is. It's like there's something about you that I don't understand.
Yeah,
which makes no sense because we hang out so much, and I'm like, what there's something about this that I don't get, so I want to clear this up. Okay, so first, I was like, okay, how do you start this conversation? So I was like, okay, let's start with like the very basic fundamental level, right? First, we come to a unified sort of like agreed understanding of what it is that the world is.
Yeah.
Okay. So because we have to understand if you're both conceptualizing it as the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're arguing about two different things, and you're like, I'm not arguing. Like, I'm trying to understand something else, and you're doing something
Yeah.
else, and I'm like,
Yeah, if the fundamentals.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think so. Let's start from the very bottom. Okay, like reality, like physics. Okay,
Yeah.
so you and I exist in this like material space. Like, okay, and this is I know this sounds like a ridiculous thing to be talking about, but like this is actually very important because there's a way that I think about the world that we live in that is not special. It's like a way of looking at the world, but it's might be different to what most people think about it. Like I actually think of it as a game, like as a place to. It's like a place to act with rules of how you can act that determine what you do and how the world reacts to your actions. Like they're literally like a video game. I just think of it like a video game. Okay.
Yeah.
I find that it simplifies the world a lot to me. Thinking about the world like a video game. If I think about
So the rules are the rules of physics.
exactly,
And
I have to like I instead of like but like unlike a game where sort of the goals are sort of given to you, you know, like obviously open source games. Like I don't know if you ever played like Skyrim or any of these big games. They give you a lot of freedom. Like you can like go and do like all these different things, but they're still constrained. They still like guide you in a path, and they still have like a set number of side quests and all these other things, right? So, okay. When you think about the world, right? When you think about what it is that you're doing here, right? Now, so we are. What do you see the world as? Like, what is this? What is this to you? Like when you when you look out of your eyes, okay, and you hear out through your ears, and you're sensing with your body, right? What is this experience to you?
that's so difficult because like this question is really difficult because you can see it from many different angles, and like my everyday angle is not the same as my super philosophical, I thought a lot about it angle. Like,
okay, good. Now I want to see why can't these be the same thing? Why isn't it the same thing? Why isn't it?
Because like for example, let's just give free will. Like just I don't really believe that there's free will. But what does this mean in everyday life?
Yeah.
Like like how do I act now if there's no free will? Like I just have to accept it and keep going, you know? And I don't like essentially what I believe at the moment is that I am and you are and we are all really, really complicated machines. Machines that are so complicated that we can't really we don't understand them. And that's why we say, oh, there's something special, and we interpret stuff into.
I'm going to stop you for a second. Okay, can we make a distinction between complicated and complex?
Okay, what's the explain?
Okay, so at a certain level, the brain is not complicated.
Mm-hmm.
We know the individual units.
Yeah.
Neurons we understand if you take one neuron, we understand a fuck ton about what a neuron is. We know how it we know what it needs to work.
Mm-hmm.
We know about the electrical signals it uses. We know about the biochemistry. We know like its structure. We know all these things. So it's not complicated at that level, okay? But it's at a lower level, it is more complicated. But when I think of complicated, I think of things that are like a mess of things that we don't really understand, versus complex, where it's like we understand the components, but we don't understand how they interact together and what they create as a result. Like individual neurons on their own are not complicated, But you
Yeah.
put 100 billion of them, 100 billion of them together in this one skull, and you start sending electrons
Yeah.
through all of them, we get alias,
Yeah.
right? And that we have no idea how to understand. We're trying to understand. But
Yeah, I would even probably say it's probably even both. Like maybe it's a little bit more complex but I would still say it's also complicated. Like even if you say like a neuron is super easy, it's not super easy.
Yeah.
Like it's still like kind of complicated. Like it's like
at every level. So I don't know. There's this subtle distinction that I'm doing a shit job of explaining right now. But there's a small distinction between something that is complicated. And something that is complex but not complicated, and something that is complicated but not complex. This is a different tangent. Okay, this is something that came to mind.
Okay.
But the idea is that like
for example,
we are complicated machines, right? I would say yes. Okay, I think for the sake of this discussion, we can go with complicated.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So just that's what I like. At least we're so complicated or complex that we don't really understand ourselves. Like we are machines that we don't understand, and where there are so many factors all working together that we don't understand it. So we just make up stuff to explain what we do, and we think like, okay, this is like some magic here, some magic there, and like a soul and stuff. But in the end, everything that we try to explain with this it's nothing more than a really like really complicated machine. Only that it's so complicated that we don't understand. Yeah, this is how I actually like.
Okay. So let's take it a few steps back. Okay.
Yes.
So that's how you see your human being, or yourself rather.
Yeah.
Right. Because let's just talk about let's say that's how you see yourself, because like it's not possible for you to see other people.
Yeah,
that's like a whole philosophical thing, right? Okay, cool, right? So shall we I don't know if this is useful, but like let's go like at the base level. We have physics, right? Can we agree that like there are fundamental? Okay, let's agree that we are discussing everything after existence itself. Okay,
so existence is given. Yeah,
existence is given.
Yeah,
right. That is
already a big problem, but
that's a premise, right? So we're
not gonna talk about
it's like
why
so,
there's
so
something.
we're gonna say given that existence is there is existence, right? We don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So something
exists, right? So now there is one way of thinking, that one say religious way of thinking that tries to account for the fact that existence is there as well, right?
Yeah,
because like God created everything. Like whatever,
where let go,
right?
from.
Exactly. So you pick a religion and they'll tell you like this is why this is why we exist.
Yeah.
So we're going to ignore the question of why we exist
Yeah.
and just say this is that we exist, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then as far as we know, the universe is governed by the laws of physics.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
no, that's wrong. We describe the universe in the laws of physics. It's not like we invented the laws of physics and then now it's like the universe is described as certain laws of physics.
By the laws of physics. Okay, the thing how I think I see the world a lot in probabilities.
Okay.
Like I see, like if I say, for example, that I say that I am a really complicated machine, I would say it's really likely that I'm a really I would never say I am a really complicated, or maybe at some point I can say this, but like for now I would never say I am a really complicated machine. I just say I believe that. So it's really likely. The same with the laws of physics. So I believe that the world is pretty much like, for some reason there are things, and those things made like govern like the laws of physics are like the rules the rules we discovered of those things that are, and from those things other things emerge. For example, the machine. And I would never say like I'm 100% sure of that, but I would just say I think this is the most likely explanation. And like
Okay, so can we talk a little bit about the word machine, because it comes up a couple
Yes.
came a couple times. So what do you mean by machine? Like what does that mean to you?
So there's nothing. So a machine, I really like this comparison, like a really like my computer. Maybe this is already like a too complicated machine. But if you just can you think of like a super simple machine? I don't. Let's just say my computer. This already is pretty complicated.
Yeah,
but
it's fine.
but you do something, and then like imagine a really big like the wheels that go into each other. How do you gears? Like a really big thing of gears.
Yeah.
And when you start like turning one, then another one turns, and another one turns, and like it's like a chain reaction. And then like there's input, chain reaction, output. This is what I would call a machine. So the same for my computer. I press like a key, then like there's a chain reaction. Like there's one thing that triggers another thing, that triggers a few other things. They diverge, converge, like, and in the end there's like an output. And the same thing I think are we humans. I think everything is like this. Like I don't. Like consciousness and stuff, this is like something I really have to think more about, like where did this come from. But like this is what I would define a machine as. Like you give an input and there's like a chain reaction, and therefore like there's an output.
Okay, so
and I think
and this input output relationship,
yeah,
there's there's a causal chain in this,
exactly,
right? So
in everything.
Yeah. So like you and the output is proportional, like so you can isolate, like the system is set up such that it's isolated enough that you can identify the input parameters, you change some input, and you get a appreciable output.
What do you mean by isolated?
Like, so if to have this linear cause effect relationship, okay, to say I'm gonna go change this thing here, and then you're gonna have to get the output here.
Yeah,
you have to be able to know you have to be able to have a place to put your finger in and make changes to. So there, what I'm trying to get to is that there are a lot of systems are not like this.
Okay, tell me why. Because I would say that actually every system is like this, but with the thing is it's not that simple. Like the input is not just described by like one key press. Like the input that I have in every second is like really big, and also it's like input, black box, output, and also the output influences the input. Like the black box, let's say the black box is the human in the middle, and what we usually do, or what many humans do, is like to say, okay, this black box, there is something specially happening there. So that's why humans have like some higher value than other things. This is why life is like more valuable than other things, because like this black box that we can't explain is there's something special in there. For example, a soul or something. But what I just say is like it's just a really complicated machine. You know, like when I press a key on my computer, and like let's say we really exactly know like what happens in the computer for the letter to arrive on the screen, then nobody would say, okay, like, oh, the computer is like some kind of special, has a soul, but you would just say, okay, yeah, it just happened because you put the input. But in the human case, it's not that simple. It's not that just one key press, then something's happened, and then an output. There are a million inputs at every second, with a super complicated machine in the middle, with super complicated outputs at the end, that all like influence each other. And that's why we say, oh, there must be something special. Okay. But in the end, it's just because we don't really understand it.
Okay, so the entire notion. So what you're saying is like the entire notion that human beings are somehow special is simply
because we don't understand them.
Simply because we don't understand how the internal mechanisms work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a really good summary of what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, there's this. It's interesting. Like, there's an analogy in AI where it's like everything is AI until we get it to work,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay. No, explain.
It's like everyone, like, so, before, for a long time we had all these different criteria for what we define as artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, we're gonna, if you do this, we have achieved artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So we have the Turing test. He came up with all these things, right?
Yeah.
There's a test we can do. And then like
Oh,
all
I
the different
understand.
criteria,
Yeah,
like, if you can create music, if you can, so like all the
If
different
it
things.
can do creative stuff, or
Yeah. So like, if you can do this, if you can play chess,
If it can play,
if you can play Go, and then you always do these things, and every time you do that, they're like, no, this is not intelligence anymore.
Yeah.
Because, but like, I understand it's
Exactly,
funny,
exactly.
it's funny, but also it's actually true. Like, it's funny, but it's actually also true.
And what I believe is that we could go infinitely with that, and we would, like, with each new thing that we can get to work, we're like, okay, so that's not the special thing about humans, but there's something else. And then we go on, and at some point we're like, oh, now we, like, maybe this will happen at some point. We're like, oh, now we understand everything. It's really just a machine.
This is part of the reason. Like, like, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to say this about all religious people, but like, in a sense, I'm also quite religious. In the sense that it's funny that I'm quite religious, in the sense that, like, while believing human beings are special, I'm doing everything possible to show that we are not.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So if I'm trying to understand, so like, it's the same thing with like people who study intelligence in chimpanzees. It's like most of them are like fully convinced. They are fully convinced that human beings and human intelligence is somehow unbelievably special, right? Because we actually have a ton of evidence to show that it is very special, right? All this talk about octopuses and shit, like, yes, okay, but like, octopuses don't have.
They don't build
this,
houses.
They don't have
computers.
Yeah, they don't have this, like,
Yeah.
like
Don't record podcasts.
Just because an octopus can take two halves of a coconut and make a little house of it and go inside, like, okay, like, yes, that's great, but then I can show up and just like take the octopus out of the coconut, put it in a frying pan, cook it up, put it in some nice spices, turn into a recipe. Turn that recipe into a brand, turn the brand into a multinational corporation, and sell octopus sauce all over the world.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
That's a different scale. Okay.
Yeah.
But
I really think there's just a different scale. I don't think there is, because the problem, as humans, we think, because it's so complicated, especially like it's getting less and less the more we understand. But because it's so complicated, we're like, oh, there must be something special in there. So there must be something like a soul in there. But in reality, there's nothing special in there. It's just like more complicated, and we just don't understand it yet.
Yeah. So I think, okay, so this is something, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a little extra list called points of agreement.
Yeah.
Okay. This is good. So one point of agreement, I think you and I both agree that there is probably nothing as a soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably. Exactly. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. You don't have to write it, because it's for everything.
Everything's probable. Everything's probable.
We just talk about what we think is most likely to be true.
Right.
Yeah.
So given all the, like, yes, it's hard for me to understand this, right? Okay, cool. That's good. So your perspective is that if we just understand, as we continue to understand more and more about how the human being does what it does, it'll be less and less special in terms of other animals and all the other stuff that we do.
Exactly. Like, of course, it may be more complicated than other things, but there's no magic in there.
Have you heard of the ancient aliens hypothesis?
Tell me about it. Which one? I'm listening to Joe Rogan.
Yeah. The idea, I think I'm calling it the wrong name, but the idea is that, like, the reason we haven't seen aliens is because we are the aliens. It's like,
okay,
so we crash landed here a long time ago.
So we're like fundamentally different from other animals.
Yeah. Like, we are the aliens.
Okay.
Which is like, when I first thought about this, I was like, holy shit, like, Why didn't I think about this? Like, what if? Like, I mean, that's the interesting thing to think about. Like, what if we are the aliens? Like,
Yeah.
But then
There would still be other
then there's so much there's so
like-
much evidence of there's much evolutionary evidence that we didn't come from space. Like,
Yeah, and even if, then we would have like evolved somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like it's not
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we came from nothing or
Yeah.
something. Or,
But yeah, I agree. Okay, so this is good. So human beings are not. So you're saying that even at the current state of understanding of human beings,
yes.
you're saying most people think that human beings are special in some way, or are you?
Yeah,
And you don't
yeah.
think that at all?
Exactly. Like I think most people, like at least unconsciously, really believe that. Like just alone to say that humans, like even I myself somehow subconsciously act like I believe like humans are something special, because just the fact that you say, okay, a human life is worth more than something else is like a statement that says, oh, there is something more special about it. Because like theoretically, if it's just like a complicated machine that's kind of emerged, then there's nothing more special about a human than about a rock. Like, okay, it's more complicated, but in the end, it's pretty much
Okay, so do you think there's anything special? Okay, so even compared to like life and non-life, there's no. Do you think there's no separation?
Like there is, for sure, there's a difference, and but now we can go into a good and bad as well, because like I don't think that it's like especially good or something. It just is like it just happened to start to exist, and life is, because life can multiply itself. It's really good at keeping to exist, but there's nothing like especially good about it or something. It just is. Like I don't really believe that there's anything good or bad. Like yeah, I think it's really likely that there's no good or bad. Everything just is, and nothing is good, nothing is bad. And this also feeds in with this, because imagine that there was just like a lump of material like in the beginning, and then from this like there formed like stones and planets and the sun and stuff, and then like out of a random thing like the first human came to be, and this human it just came out of this complexity. It started, or like life just emerged out of this complexity, but that doesn't, of course it makes, you can say it's like special, but what is special? Like everything is kind of special, and everything is kind of amazing. Yeah.
Let's take it. Let's take it back to this good and bad idea.
Yeah.
I think this is something on the larger scale. I think you and I can agree on this.
Yeah.
On the larger scale, but I think if we add constraints, as we add constraints to what we are, the level of analysis that we're talking about,
Yeah.
I think you and I will converge on an idea of what is good and what is bad. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we'll get there. I think at the scale that you're talking about,
Yeah.
would it be fair to say that would it be fair to summarize that as far as the universe is concerned,
Yeah. Nothing matters.
nothing matters. It's indifferent.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
It's indifferent.
Yeah.
This is the same thing argument I have with people who think like, humans are a parasite on nature, and nature is good, and it's just trying to survive.
Humans are bad.
and humans are bad. And I was like, have you been like, this is the kind of shit that people who have never actually been in nature say, right?
Yeah.
Because nature is exactly what you meant. It's indifferent.
Exactly.
It doesn't care, right? Like it doesn't matter. Like
The only thing that matters is if you survive.
there could be a nuclear
Yeah.
holocaust happening right now, and the sun will still like come up the next day.
Yeah. And
Like,
some cockroaches will still survive.
Birds
Like,
will still be like there could be an entire family could burn to death in this building and the birds next to the building in the tree would still like fucking,
Yeah.
go around, do their bird things.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Nature is indifferent. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and unbiased in that sense. The universe is just a thing that exists.
Nature is biased in the direction of it wanting to exist. That would
No. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
okay.
okay, this is good.
Yeah.
But like
life
like-
is biased in this direction. Not,
life is
yeah.
biased in the direction.
Yeah.
Life is biased in the direction that it wants to exist.
Yes.
But the universe as a fundamental entity of existence, which we've
Is
established exists,
totally unbiased.
is totally unbiased. It doesn't care.
Doesn't care about
It just
anything.
exists, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It has some, and it just exists. And under the laws by which it operates, some dynamics happen, and then we have at different levels of analysis, good and bad start to happen depending on the level of analysis.
Mm-hmm.
But on the broader scale, it's just there. There's no fundamental good or
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with you.
But
on this.
I would say this is like the ultimate level of analysis,
Yeah.
or like the highest level of analysis. Like on this level of analysis, like nothing matters. There is no good and bad. Yeah. Okay.
Like,
but
it is actually like fits very well with the idea of scientific explanations and good explanations that we spoke about a long time ago.
yeah.
But one of the things that David Deutsch says is that, okay, fuck, I'm really pushing it right now, but the universe is full of evidence, right? It's not full of knowledge. So basically, it's just doing things.
Yeah.
Okay. It's up to us to figure out what the fuck this is. So we come up with a hypothesis or explanation, and then we look around and say, okay, does the evidence that the universe generates destroy our hypothesis, or does it not?
Yeah.
Okay. For it to be able to do that, it has to be indifferent. It just is. It doesn't really care. It doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's a cool little connection there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. I think that also we very much agree on. Okay, so given that this is the case, right? Do you think that do you have an intuition as to in that sense, do you think the question of why we exist is pointless because it's just a matter of like because so let's not say we, okay, let's just say you as an entity experiencing reality, okay, as Elias Schlee. Does it matter? Is there a reason? Should there be a reason for you to exist?
I think it's still interesting to try to find out why exactly I exist, but there's no like.
If the universe is indifferent,
yeah,
okay, and you are just a result of a certain mechanistic process,
nothing matters.
Yeah.
So it also doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter why you
like
exist.
why I exist. Like there's so. Of course, you could. Like this is my hypothesis that like nothing matters. So it also doesn't matter if I exist, but still I can try to prove it wrong, and I can try to find like evidence if maybe something matters. Like that's what I'm essentially doing with the podcast and everything, that I'm trying to find evidence for if there's something that matters. Like I think it's really likely that in the grand scale, nothing matters, but this may be false. And this is like the only hope I have. And therefore it is also meaningful to try to find out if like how existence came to be, for example, like why is there something rather than nothing? Why am I there? Like this is maybe a path to finding out if there's something that matters. But I say it's pretty likely that nothing matters.
I think actually, I think the thing that comes to mind is I think there is some evidence that nothing does matter.
Yeah.
As default, because why? Because there is this idea that meaning is not to be found, it's to be created. Right? Like that. Isn't it weird? Isn't it strange that human beings can do such a wide variety of perfectly ridiculous things, right? Like yesterday, okay, I was reading a paper, okay?
Yeah.
It's like just, but they used so as an example of coordination and synchronization and like complex systems stuff. They used, double dutch,
Double Dutch.
the
No.
skipping game. It's like two people. So there are two ropes. So you know how you skip,
Yeah, yeah.
right? But in this case, there are three people. Sometimes more than three people.
Yeah.
So
Two are holding.
so there are two ropes.
Yeah.
So you and me, we both hold one rope in each hand, and we're doing like stuff with the rope, and the person in the middle is like jumping and doing handstands and
Yeah.
like up and down and all
Yeah,
kinds
I
of
know.
stuff. Okay, and I was like, that's cool. That's an interesting game. And then in the paper, they're like the National Double Dutch Association. I was like, what? I was like, this can't be a actual. And like there are like national championships of doing this, right? And
Absurd.
absurd. Right?
But
like
everything.
But
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
is like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
But isn't it? But the people like. But I watched the final. Like I watched, I watched the finals of this yesterday. Like it's so. So two things happened to me. This happens to me now more often. This happens to me so often now. Like I'm like kind of get worried. Like I step back. So on one screen, have this very dense scientific mathematical paper about like dynamical systems, right?
And on the other side,
And
people
has a
making
skip
double
rope.
Dutch.
And I'm sitting here thinking, I've hacked the system. Like I have hacked this video game because like I can't believe I'm getting this is legit my full-time job.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, if I'm looking at these people, and they're like, and they do this routine, and it's amazing. Like it is actually amazing. Like this guy, like the guy, like they not only is the person in the middle like navigating these two ropes that are like doing stuff, right? And he's doing handstands and flips and like up all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
They are also like changing places. Like the person, the guy in the middle, jumping switches positions with the person who's doing the ropes, and the rope is going the entire time. The rope doesn't stop. Okay.
Yeah.
And like they switch the rope and they come in the middle, and I'm like, what is this? Is ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah.
And then but the thing is like when they were done with their routine, they like just hugged each other, and they was like so shocked and amazed, and the crowd was like, oh my god, that's crazy. The guy is recording is like, that was insane. Like there's this spontaneous like generation, and clearly what as ridiculous as that looks from the outside, that clearly gives those people some deep meaning, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of nice. So isn't it interesting that like we have this such a crazy diversity of ways that we can find meaning, and that might be evidence that actually nothing matters. So you can actually generate your meaning in some way.
So I think that this stuff that feels meaningful or stuff that feels good or everything, those are all just features of those complicated machines that we are. You know, it's like, it like, oh, we did this crazy thing, like with a double Dutch, I don't know, and like everybody's cheering and everybody's feeling good. Yeah, but this is like, it's just an example for like everything that people find like meaningful or like good or like wow.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, isn't that evidence? Like, isn't that evidence that nothing does matter? Like, because
because even this can be like even this feels like it matters.
Yeah.
Like,
so
even if it's so obvious that it's like
it's ridiculous. Like so many sports make no sense.
Yeah.
Right. But like it fills people's lives with a reason for why they exist.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have a question, why do I exist? Okay.
Yeah.
And nothing matters. Okay. So there are two ways to look at this. One is the very like pessimistic view of this. Nothing matters. So what the fuck? Or also another way is like, oh, nothing matters. Like, I can just like, I can fall back. Like you said, we're a machine, right? So I can fall back. So we established a few things. Okay, let's backtrack and work our back up. Okay, we established a few things. The universe exists. The universe is governed by some certain underlying laws.
Probably
A few of them which we have found, like the speed of light, That's it.
Yeah.
Right? Turns
For
out
some
there's,
reason-
for now, at least for now, turns out that there's no way for us to break this barrier.
Yeah.
Why does the universe have this fundamental speed limit? Like, who knows? Okay. Anyway, on a side note, I was thinking yesterday, why isn't information affected by gravity? Like, there's one theory, right? That everything is information. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you fill up a hard drive with information, is the hard drive get heavier? Like even like
But I think
at a
now-
level that you can't measure. Like it's like you can't measure it, but this is a stupid idea. Like I have no idea what
But
this even means.
isn't there there is always like information on the hard drive, like just before you fill it up.
Yes, true.
Like
It's
it's not like
so
nothing.
no information is information.
Yeah, exactly. Like no
I don't know.
information is also
I
like
don't know.
even if everything is
I have no
zeros,
idea.
like let's say
Yeah.
everything
Oh,
is
zeros,
zeros, it's
yeah.
still like everything is zeros. So
Yeah,
it's still like a lot of bits.
Ah,
So-
interesting.
So it's
Yeah,
like
that's probably true. I have
yeah.
no idea. This is a weird thought. I was like taking a shit yesterday. I was like, huh. Anyway, okay. So let's start from the bottom.
yeah,
Laws of physics. We exist,
Yeah.
right? And then we are machines governed by these rules.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so for some reason there we have a machine that tells us like this is meaningful and this is not meaningful. Like so the reason I care about this is because I want a reason to live. Let's say I want a reason to exist.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have had a great life, all things considered.
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless of what the fuck, I've had a great life. Okay.
Yeah.
But there have been more occasions than I would like where I had to really think, where it's like there has to be a reason for me to exist because all of this pain is otherwise complete. Like there has to be a reason for this pain because otherwise, what the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, machine. We have this. So I'm considered. I care about meaning because I think that is the way that is what gives us a reason to exist. I don't think being happy or chasing happiness is a reason to exist. Like I think I have but we'll get to that, right?
So say this again. What is better than being happy?
A meaning, like a
Yeah.
purpose,
Yeah.
because you can't always be happy, but you can always have a meaning.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Okay. So, and turns out some of the most meaningful things are painful as fuck, and you're not happy at all when you're doing it. But then
Yeah.
turns out
But somehow you are.
somehow you are, right? Okay.
Somehow, yeah.
Okay. So if nothing matters, you can sort of fall back. So you can take comfort in knowing
Yeah.
that the universe is indifferent.
Yeah.
And
You can just choose.
and out
whatever
of
you
this
want.
out of this indifference, you are here in this machine, and for some reason this machine has a function, it has a compass that like points depending on what you're doing. Nope, oh, meaningful.
Yeah.
And then like you're like I have no idea why. Like this fucking machine is just like let me do this, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's kind of freeing. Like okay, go do this meaningful thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is something that can follow out of understanding this. Like, because if nothing matters, then like this is the thing that I think many people get wrong. If I say nothing matters, it doesn't mean that everything is bad. It just means like there is nothing bad. There's also nothing good. But like just because there's nothing good doesn't mean that there's everything is bad. Like it just is. Like everything.
just is. Everything just is.
It just is. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not good. It just is.
Yeah.
And it's not meaningful. It's not meaningless. Like that's the thing. If you say, "Oh, nothing matters," that means everything is meaningless. No, it just is. It's not meaningless. Meaningless can only exist if there's something meaningful. Like
Yeah, so this is actually nice. So
Yeah.
whenever you say something like this, like I'm more, like whenever I have a conversation like this,
yeah,
it's hard for me to know where I want to go and where I want to think. So I'm actually like sitting back and watching my own thoughts, and then watching that what comes up. So like for example, when you said like nothing, like when you talk about like meaningful and not or bad and not, this is something that you think about like when you're doing, for example, cognitive behavioral therapy, or like when or when you're just meditating. Okay, you have thoughts that you're afraid of, or like. Or there are thoughts you come up and your first reaction is like, oh, that's bad. That's a bad thought. It's a shit thought. I shouldn't be having this. I'm a shit person. What the fuck is wrong with me? But like the thing you learn is like, they're just thoughts. Take the valence out of them. take the good, bad, evil, terrible valence out of them. Just watch them as they are, right? And then evaluate them based on what you think could happen if you played those out in the world. The good thing about thoughts is that they're stuck in here.
Yeah.
Right? You have your motor output system, but generally speaking, your thoughts are just thoughts. They don't actually have to do it. They have no valence really. They're just like things that exist. But this is interesting.
But about like reality, it's like we as humans, like, it's programmed into us to believe that some things are good, some things are bad, some things are meaningful, some things are not meaningful, and like we can't really turn this off. Like even if no matter how much I believe that nothing is good, nothing is bad, I can't turn this human instinct off to think that things are good, things are bad, things are meaningful, like at least in my daily life. Like of course maybe like if you take some psychedelics or if you really meditate for a long time, at some point you will like understand that nothing matters, nothing is good, nothing is bad. But like in your everyday life, this is what I meant. Like right in the beginning I said like there's a difference between how I live my everyday life and what I philosophically believe, and this is like I think this is
isn't that problematic?
The thing is you can't live you like you can't truly understand that nothing is good, nothing is bad. Like you can like theoretically understand it, but just for the fact that you are a human with human biology, with hormones, with like stuff that make you feel like no matter how much you believe that it's not bad if you have pain, like try like let's say just hold your breath for 10 minutes. Like it's not bad that you have pain, that you pass out. Yeah, of course, tell yourself that it's not bad. But at some point, your biology will take over and be like, fuck, I want to breathe. And then like, oh, you wanted to breathe? No, yeah, you wanted that. Some part of your biology wanted that. Some part of the machine wanted that. Like as if it was like bad not to breathe. But even no matter how theoretically you understand that it's not bad if you stop breathing, like practically at some point you will start breathing again, because like okay, I think maybe some people are able to pass out.
Good.
Like,
So we've come up a level, right? We're also taking for granted that given that the universe exists and given that you're a human being, is that
what means human being? Like it's a really complicated machine. Yeah.
Okay, so human beings are a result of biology, chemistry, and physics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
So it's not like we exist
There's not some magic sauce sprinkled into us that is like
So look, I want to believe this.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I would love to have the level of comfort and belief that a truly religious person has.
Yeah.
I feel like if I had that, I would be able to sleep much better at night. You know, like it's really funny. Like some of the one of the best, one of the most successful treatments for alcoholism and addiction is religious conversion.
Yeah.
It is more successful than anything else.
Yeah.
Anything else. Okay, which is probably why that is, because like you get this sense of comfort, like surety, and this assurance.
You don't have to think about if the things that you do are good or bad, because you have like God told me that this is the thing I should do, so I I know why I am, I know what I have to do, I know what happens when I die.
Like this other thing I was thinking about, like there's this very anti-human sentiment, right? That is going around everywhere. Okay, that was pumped out when Twitter was owned by some bunch of crazy people. I mean, Elon's still crazy. This is not a political statement, but like there's a general idea that the only socially acceptable position on humanity is that we suck, which I think is not cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is, I don't know if you agree with that. I don't know if you felt this, but this is what I felt. Like the socially acceptable thing to say is like, oh my God, you're destroying everything. We are like parasites. We are like making everything worse. that's like the narrative, and I know I don't want to be a part of this narrative.
Yeah.
Okay, but why I brought this up is because like I was thinking, I was like, fuck, man, like, is this actually gonna happen? Like, are we gonna fucking go extinct? Like, are we gonna like, is this it? This is it? Like, this is all we're gonna do, and then that's it. It's over. Like, we're never gonna leave this planet. Like, worst case scenario, there's a nuclear holocaust and we all die, or like some virus or some meteorite. Or if none of that shit happens, if somehow we manage to survive just on Earth for the next 3.6 billion years, the sun's gonna explode and kill us all off, right? I was like, what the fuck? That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So the reason I think that is because I perceive that as the end of a game. Like, the game is over. Like, I don't want the game to end. Like, I want the game to keep going.
Okay,
Because I think of the whole thing as a video game.
But so do you think of humanity as a video game or your life as a video game?
I think humanity is.
Is the game over when humanity is dead
Yeah.
or when you are
No,
dead?
I think the game is over when humanity is dead.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I would say the game is over when I'm dead.
Nah, that's it. Okay, this is a difference.
Yeah, that is a difference.
Yeah, I don't think the game's over when I'm dead.
But what do you think?
Like, my game, like my turn in the game is probably over.
Yeah.
But the game continues.
But there is nothing else but your turn in the game. Like,
Yeah, but there are other people, right? Like,
yeah.
like, I mean, there are more people who died than there exist on Earth right now.
yeah, for sure.
Right? So the game I want the game to continue, right? Because the game has progressed. The game used to be fucking awful.
Yeah.
Like we get to play a much more diverse, a much more rich, much
Nice
more
game with more opportunity.
a much freer game.
Yeah.
Like interestingly, as the game has progressed, the freedom to try different things in the game has increased.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, you're not like right now. You're in no risk of Germany being like Germany conscripting you to go to war.
Yeah.
Right. That the risk is like very small.
Yeah.
Okay. And like, I had the freedom to choose what career I wanted to choose, like what I want to spend my life doing. Right. I had the freedom to like go party and do fucking dumb shit and and then find something meaningful or whatever the fuck. Right. To go back, the further you go back, the less the more constricted the space of games you can play.
So the fact that you say the game is just over when humanity is dead.
Yes.
This means that it's somehow meaningful to make the game for other humans better for you?
Yeah. For me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm not saying like humanity in the biology, like as we are in this machine, this soft sack of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I think of humanity as the embodied collection of all the knowledge that we've gained iteratively over playing billions of games. Each person is playing one version of the game.
Yeah.
Over thousands of. I mean, if you go back, actually, if you take all life, actually, the ultimate is probably like the life. Life is the game.
Yeah.
You want to keep life going, right?
Yeah.
If life doesn't exist anywhere else in the universe, if this is the only place with life, then the ultimate game would be to make sure life doesn't go exist.
But I like the grand scheme. This also doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But
that's okay. That's the important thing that I think is like, okay, like if there would be like an asteroid coming and like now and destroy all Earth and everything is dead, like all life.
Yeah, it wouldn't
is
matter. To the universe, it wouldn't matter,
Yeah.
but it matters to me. Right?
Okay, but that is okay. Yeah. I can.
Yeah, because we accepted that like there's nothing matters.
So
Biology.
like
And all I can tell you-
objectively, nothing matters. Exactly.
Objectively, from the point of view of the universe, nothing matters.
Yeah.
It just exists.
So, from the point of view of the universe, or from like the objective point of view,
How do you have a point of view without something to view it from?
like I say there are point of views, and there is the objective truth, like you can see something from an angle, or how something really is. Like maybe I don't know if this is, if you can say it like this, but
No, I understand what you mean.
yeah, but like there's always like all the biased perspectives on something, and there's how it truly is. And I would say,
Okay,
like,
so do you
the,
think-
the true underlying reality is that there's nothing that matters? There's absolutely no difference if I would go to the window and jump out of
No
it.
difference
now,
to
or-
who? No difference to what? Difference to whom? Difference to what? In there is no way to escape the fact that you need a frame of reference. How do you escape the fact that you need a frame of reference?
So if I say the frame of reference is everything there is, like
Yeah,
the universe. Yeah.
yeah. Like I
Yeah.
agree with you. Like if all there is electrons don't care about any of this.
Yeah.
Because they're like let's assume the electrons are not conscious.
Yeah.
Okay, let's assume that
And even if they're conscious, they don't care.
even if they're conscious, they don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they don't care that they exist in a carbon atom or a
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
hydrogen atom. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Matter to them. All that matters is that they're electrons,
Yeah.
right? So on that scale, it doesn't matter. Also, in the massive, huge scale in the size of the universe, that also doesn't matter,
Yeah.
right? Okay, but given that we are human beings and we exist, and and life wants to exist for some reason, right? You don't know why.
Yeah.
So we have this
We know why. Like it's pretty simple.
life
Why-
wants to replicate, but we don't know why. We don't know why. Well,
Of course, it's just why does life want to exist? Because the life that wants to exist
replicates.
kept
Yes.
existing.
Yes,
So it's like,
fine.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fine. Yeah. But let's back to the question. Yeah, for me, the game ends when. So for me, it's more fun to think of the game as whole of humanity, and like this idea of like it's more fun. Like why? I don't know where it comes from. It's just like okay. So
Yeah.
it's more fun to think of the game as all of humanity existing.
Yeah, I agree. Like, or look, I don't know if it's more, like, if it's more fun like this, but I would say still, yeah, it's fine as long as you as one keeps saying, okay, but this is like a subjective. Okay, maybe you shouldn't say this. Like, it's a subjective, made up way of thinking about what is meaningful, because like in true reality, there's nothing that is meaningful. There's nothing that matters. But we can just make up stuff that we just say is meaningful, and then we just believe it. But if you really, but you can't claim truth with that. So it's not truly meaningful to help humanity keep existing. It's not truly meaningful to do anything that people think is meaningful. It's just like, you can just decide because nothing is meaningful, nothing is meaningless. You can just decide, okay, I will, like, if nothing is right, nothing is wrong, nothing is good, nothing is bad, it just means that you can just choose something. And it's not like, if I say, oh, I decide it's meaningful to help humanity exist, then this is not wrong, because there is no wrong. But it's also not right, because there's no right, because there's no value judgment on anything. You can just choose. Yeah, but you can't claim ultimate truth. Yeah, with that.
Okay, let's make it more simple. Let's just consider. Let's say, see, here's the problem. I like to have my actions and my beliefs synchronized. I don't want to have beliefs that go counter to how I act.
Yeah, I agree. I know exactly. Yeah. And I have this problem a little bit. Yeah. So, but you don't want to have beliefs that are like, this is the problem. There's your actions, your beliefs, and the truth. And what you want to have synchronized, you can have either your beliefs and your actions synchronized, but then it's not the truth, or you have your. But I don't actually believe that my actions are not synchronized with my beliefs that are not synchronized with the truth. Because what you say now, to synchronize your actions with your beliefs have to be different from the truth. Maybe is it too? So we have the truth. Nothing matters. Everything is like, this is the underlying truth. Like, there's no difference in nothing. And then we have our beliefs. Let's say we believe that something matters. This already means that they clash. Like, if we say something objectively matters, then this already clashes against the truth. But then it fits with our actions. And what you could also do is you could believe that nothing matters, which is the same with the truth.
There's another
But,
there's another alternative,
Yeah.
that we are wrong, that
And that something matters.
that nothing matters,
Yeah.
right? And our actions are actually in line with the truth that something matters.
But this statement would be meaningless because no matter what we do, we will do something meaningful. So this is not informative of what we should do
Yeah, because
if everything is meaningful.
yeah, but yeah, and if we can live our life in so many different ways, that okay. We need to operationalize meaning. It's too vague right now.
Yeah.
What if we say meaning is a function that basically says, let's say meaning is a function that takes suffering as an input. Okay, like pain. It's like,
This is already one step further.
wait, let me think this through. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just say meaning is a function that takes suffering as input. Okay, let's say, okay, things that wanted to live replicated so that they survived. Okay, let's take it as a given. Okay, let's take that as so the number of constraints that we are as human beings. Okay, because I am fundamentally concerned of how to live as a human being.
Yeah.
That is my fundamental concern.
That's the only big question.
Right?
Yeah.
That's my fundamental concern. And whatever that tells me, whatever that pushes me, helps me with this, I'm going to, like, I want to know. Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to know how. And there are a couple of things that I understand, that I can act in the world. Okay. There's a mechanism by which I can translate. There's a mechanism by which I can take the current state of the system and control the trajectory it takes to the next state of the system. Okay, it is super specific. Okay, like
The system being your life.
just say the life. Okay, because the life, okay, so the world, universe, whatever the fuck. Okay, forget, let's make it super simple, like my life or like my experience.
Yeah.
Let's say my experience of reality. Okay, so if I didn't have a mechanism, let's say I was stuck in a box, like an AI, okay, in a computer, and I had no way to interact with the world. No matter what thoughts and beliefs and goals I had, the world, the environment would go from time 1 to time 2 to time 3 to time 4 in whatever mechanics randomness or whatever mechanics is going on, right?
Yeah.
But as a agent, okay, as an agent in this game, I have the ability to control how the state evolves to a certain degree, even if it's very locally, even if it's just very locally in my small environment.
So you can impact your environment.
Right. So I have a way of translating my internal state to the external world by influencing how the system transitions
Through
from one
your
to the
actions.
next. Exactly. Through my actions.
You can do stuff.
Right.
Following the things that you think, the things that you believe. Yeah.
Okay. So how do I decide which future state I want the system to evolve into?
Okay. So first, I think it's 100% true that the most important or the only really relevant question is, what do we, all things considered, have the most reason to do as humans? Like, or what should we do? That's like the question.
Given that we can do stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Given that we have the ability.
Yeah, we have the ability. Like, of course, what is we? What is I? Like, this is another problem.
Take you, just as a human being, as you as one person.
Yeah. But wait, what was the question? Sorry.
All I'm trying to do is gradually.
Yeah.
Because the way I'm thinking about at the level we were initially talking about, the search space is vast. It doesn't help us it doesn't.
Like, how do we decide what we do?
I want to add.
Yeah.
I want constraints. I want like here's.
Okay,
I don't care. I don't care how we get there. I just want to see if there are ways we can add little boundaries on this thing.
On what we do.
On what we do.
On what we do. Okay.
So that's why I was
question
being
basically how do we decide what we do?
very specific. That's why I was like trying to be very specific about what I mean about actions and what it means.
Yeah.
Given that we can influence the state of the system to go from time t0 to t1 to t2, how do we know which actions to perform and what we should do to first of all like we need to know how we need to, because we don't have the option of not doing anything weirdly.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
It's weird. Not doing something is doing something.
Yeah, exactly. There's no,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are sort of in this situation where we have to take agency and decide. Okay. So how do we help? How do we step the system through? Yeah. How
do we decide what we do? So this is difficult. This is basically the main question of my podcast.
Yes.
Like this is literally the main question of my podcast. Like, how do we decide what we do? Like what to do in life? And you could look at ultimate reality and think like okay, basically I believe the thing is that we are machines. So there is no actually us deciding. There's just input, output. But there's this thing we call us in the middle. So, and we think and we just believe in this illusion that there's like some kind of us deciding on what we do. So this is, but okay, how do we decide what we do? We could look at the grand scheme. Okay, what is the information we have? We have to find out if there's an action that is better than another action. So this is the main thing, because either it absolutely doesn't matter what you do, or there are actions that you could take that are better than other actions. And in the moment where there are actions that you can take that are better than other actions, this would mean there is some kind of meaning. And so what informs what we should do is either if there are things that are better, if there are things that are better than other things to do, then obviously we should do the things that are better. But if there are no things that are better than others, then it literally doesn't matter. You can just do whatever and don't think about it. Just do whatever you feel like. The thing is, what we just, in the beginning, what we went through is that we found out that we both kind of believe that there's no action that is really like objectively better than another action. So there's no action that is really better than another action. And what I say now, okay, I still want to know what I should do. So what is the most likely, like we could now say, okay, all the actions are equal. This would like if you really believe that nothing matters, like objectively nothing. What we in the whole our discussion, what we came out that we both believe that like objectively there is no difference between two actions that you can do. Like there is no. It doesn't matter
in the ultimate analysis.
In the ultimate analysis, it doesn't matter which action you choose. Like,
but in the local analysis, like
it also like there is no the local analysis is just like what is the local analysis?
So the question I asked you is given that you have to propagate the system,
I have to do something.
How do you decide which way to propagate the system?
So. The thing is that you can do things without knowing why. You can just, and I think this is what nearly all we humans do. Like of course, we make up reasons for why we do stuff, but in the end, we just do things without actually knowing like why we do them. So this is, I think this is what we all kind of do. And in the end, we make up like some kind of reasons why we did stuff, or maybe also before we make up kind of reasons why we do stuff. But the only like real reason to do something that I found in my thinking was like, because I don't think that this if you say the ultimate level of analysis and the local level of analysis, there is no, like, if in the ultimate level of analysis there's no action that is better than another action, then in the local level of analysis there's also no action that is better than another action. Like, why should there be a difference? Like,
there's an entire field of study that would disagree with you.
why?
Because it's not necessarily the case that the reasoning and the mechanics translates from one level to another level. No, okay, but that's not the point. I'm not going to get into that right
yeah.
now. But what I want to know, this isn't what I want to know is, okay, given that we have to act in the world, in reality, okay, and the system, and we have the ability to move the system from state at current time to state at the next time.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to take some actions.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to take the actions. We need to know. Do we not need to know where we want the system to go?
No, we can also just take action without knowing where we want. We can just take. The thing is, we are essentially complicated machines.
So but
our biology informs of.
Okay, so you don't have to. Okay, right. So you don't have to know where you want the system to go to take action.
Yeah,
you can just
do what feels right, and what feels right is just was evolution put into you, natural selection put into you, and then it's kind of okay. But it's not, yeah.
But people do things that are so natural selection works at the level of the individual. I mean, not the, sorry. So it doesn't care about the individual, but the action happens at individual organism at the phenotype level. Okay, this is a whole other debate. Jesus Christ! See, this is the issue with this problem is that you keep running into other parts that are still really debated. But it's an answer that we're trying to look for that is built up on problems that have yet to be answered.
Yeah.
Like there are still so many problems that we have to solve to try to get to this problem.
So I don't really get where you see the problem in just saying. So I think the biggest problem that I have right now, or the biggest difference between that I see right now is this thing that we both agree that on the ultimate level, like on the grand scheme, like nothing matters. There's no action that's better than the action. There's no.
But on the grand scheme, there is no such thing as action. Action can only exist at the level of human beings.
Of the level of life, yeah.
At the level of life,
yeah.
So we can't fall back to that level to get the answers we need at this level, because at that level there's no such thing as action.
So if at that level nothing matters, why should there be something that matters in our level? Like, okay, but I can actually
okay, so laws of physics, etc., laws of biology, okay, life exists,
yeah,
and then life has to choose. Life has actions to do. Okay, action A versus action B. Okay, so now even if we don't think we can choose, that if we believe that free will is an illusion, okay, that every decision we make is predetermined, or it's just a reaction to it's just every decision is basically the act that if we take the Richard Dawkins selfish gene argument of evolution. By the way, this is like a big contention in biology, okay, because this is a problem with the evolution of cooperation. Okay, so if we say that we take actions that only help our survival, okay, so Now, the selfish gene argument is that
No. We don't have to say that. We can just say that things took actions. Like there were different agents, and they were all biased to different types of actions, and some died, some survived, reproduced, some then their children, some of them died, some reproduced, and in the end, the agents, like they are just agents that randomly take action in the beginning, you know, and over time, over time, only the agents that did like beneficial actions for they or survived. So it's not that the agents wanted to do things that are good for them.
I agree.
But just the action that the agents that accidentally did things that for some reason, even if it was like randomly, like the agents that did things that lead to them survive and reproduce, those are the ones that are left now. So what we have in us is just what made all the humans, like all our parents, their parents survive.
Right.
Like,
so the ultimate, if the ultimate goal is survival,
it's not better or worse than anything.
No, like I mean, a goal in the sense that like that's all that life is concerned with.
So the thing is,
the reason I'm bringing this up is because you said we can have actions without knowing how we want.
But life is essentially just concerned with surviving, but because of the mechanism of natural selection. Otherwise, if there were no natural selection, then life would be just doing random
let's talk
stuff.
about natural selection. Okay.
Yeah.
What is natural selection?
Natural selection
is sorry. Go ahead. What is natural selection concerned with? Like, what is
so by natural selection we can also lump in like sexual selection, everything.
No.
Okay. How could you?
Do that.
Okay, can you say the
sexual selection is a
selection? Can you? How's the word that the umbrella term for all the kinds of selection?
So the difference between natural selection and sexual selection is actually quite a big
difference,
thing.
but it's like
quite a big literature about this, right? So basically, the fundamental question is, why did we become the way we become?
Yeah.
Why do animals exhibit the behaviors and the characteristics and the physical things that they exhibit? Okay, so one force is natural selection, where it's basically like the environment chooses you, right? Mm-hmm. So there's mutation, variation, and inheritance. So variation, inheritance, and differential survival, meaning that traits that enable one group, one gene to survive versus the other in the environment survives because the other one, they're able to get more resources, they're able to reproduce more, and then and then they gradually come to take over the environment.
So, but if you just look at the grand scheme of like selection, or like what is life? Life is just so that's maybe a thing. So I believe that life is essentially nothing more special than like a rock, or two rocks stacked on top of each other in a specific way, like. The first life, like essentially, there's nothing more special about life. I think that's the thing. Life is nothing more special than like this computer. You could also call it life, but it's not life. Like the only this is the thing. Life is also just a machine. Life, there's nothing special about life. Life is nothing, like the only thing special about life is that it can survive. And the only reason it can survive is because the life that survives is the ones that is like, so, but I don't believe, I think that's one crucial difference, that you say, okay, there is like something special about life. Life has like life wants to survive. Yeah. But I don't say that there's like, we could create a machine that wants to survive, and then this would be life, kind of. But then you would not say it's life. You would just say, no, this is just like some robot. Like let's say super simple robot that can that can reproduce and survive, and that slowly takes over the whole galaxy, and in the end the whole galaxy is like filled with this robot, then you would not say this is life. You would say like, nah, this is something we humans build, but somehow it is life because it does exactly the same what life does. And I don't think that life is anything more special than that super simple robot, like 3 parts. Like you press here, then this lever gets pulled, and then here something comes out of it. Like this is all that life is.
Yeah, I don't see anything like from a purely like if okay, so yes, because we've already ruled this out.
Yeah.
There's no we've already agreed that we are basing this all on the fact that everything obeys the laws of physics, and then on the laws of physics, life. So we're saying that I'm not saying that life is somehow privileged from the laws of the material physical world. I am completely agreeing with you that life emerged from physics, from the universe, right?
Yeah.
It's not like something outside of physics generated life.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I feel like sometimes it sounds like this. Like
Yeah,
when I
because
talk to you or to Andre or so, yeah.
Yeah, no, like I think life is worth preserving, and based on this, and I agree with you, and but I like, even in the face of what you just told me, I would still say we should try.
So would you say
it's worth preserving?
Would you say, let's say I build a robot, a really simple robot that can survive and reproduce? Would you say this thing is worth preserving? Like it would slowly, like you can put it on every, like let's say I put it on this table, then it slowly starts to eat up the table and makes more of itself, and it eats everything, then it eats the planet, then it eats like, and in the end everything is only this robot. Like would you say this is, because this is life, is this worth preserving? Like
That's a good point. Part of me is like, no, fuck that life.
yeah, exactly.
Like part of me is like no, fuck that shit.
Yeah,
I mean there are like, viruses are kind of like that,
yeah,
right? But they need a host to survive.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
So I think what for example Andre or would say maybe would be that we want to increase the information content. So this is the special thing about like humans, for example, that like if I make this robot, then in the end the universe will be very boring. Like this is, and this is his thing that he says is the special thing. And so because humans are like like the word boring doesn't, like he says like in its information content, but you can basically, if you dumb it down, you can just say like if you I just have this robot eating everything, then the world or everything is super boring in the end, because everything is the same, everything is just this robot. And we humans are super exciting, or life is super exciting, because everything is different. There are so many different special things, and yeah, this is special. But
I think I have to admit, then in this case, I don't actually believe what we initially thought I believed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
I definitely think life is special, and I think and I think life is worth preserving.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I think this is because, not because that belief in itself is valuable. I think this because this helps me. Interesting. Because I can't think. No, you're right. Because like, if I want to take actions that preserve life and help minimize suffering and pain, then I have to value the minimization of suffering and pain over other things. Right? And if life and human beings are no more important, there's something very depressing about this idea.
That's the thing. It's not like I don't see it as super depressing, because like I think there are two really important things that you have to really understand to not make, because like nothing can be depressing with this. If you believe those two things, you have to really understand that if nothing is good, doesn't mean that everything is bad. If you say nothing is good, or nothing matters, it doesn't mean that everything is meaningless. If you say nothing has meaning, doesn't mean that everything is meaningless. It just means it just is. And the other thing that, like, I think it's super important to that people really understand this idea is that if you can't change nothing about it, it doesn't matter. So if there are things that you can't change, there's no, you don't have to feel super bad about it. You don't have, like, if there's something that you can't change, you can just accept it. It doesn't matter. Like there's no, you shouldn't give it a value or something. And like essentially nothing has any value. You can just accept things as they are. They just are. And then you can lean back and marvel at like that things are. They're not bad. They're not good. They just are.
No, but like when I look at things, I mean, when I look at my own life and what people have done to each other and to me and whatever, I would rather that pain not exist than it does exist. And
You would rather,
I rather that pain have not existed at all. Right?
yeah, that's the difference. Yeah, I think that is one very crucial. Do you truly think that you, like, let's say if there would be no meaning at all, would you truly say that it would be better to not exist than to exist?
Yes.
Okay, this is, I think,
Because without it, it's just pain.
yeah. Okay, and I think that's the point where we are different. Like this is one of the points where we are different, because I would say if nothing matters, it's still fucking amazing to, like, this is like for me, like this is like, or not even, not, it's not let's say fucking amazing is maybe too much, but it's still, yeah, amazing. Not, don't give it any value judgment. It's not good or bad. It's just like, wow, like how crazy it is that I can feel things, that I can perceive things, that I can even pain. But the thing is that I probably didn't feel the same level of pain that you felt. So it's like,
yeah, if it hurts to exist,
yeah, exactly. If it hurts to exist, there's a difference.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
So
at that point you need, yeah.
At that point you need meaning.
Yeah.
You need a reason to exist.
Yeah.
And that's where I am.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people are.
That is so hard. Like then I don't know.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So I
you can't get away from
yeah.
pain, right?
Yeah. And yeah, it's exactly like, it's, you can say all this like, oh yeah, I like oh, I understand that my feelings don't matter.
If it hurts, it hurts.
But yeah, if it hurts, it hurts. If you hold your breath, at some point you will want to start breathing, even if you say, oh no, it doesn't matter if I breathe or not. Yeah, you will breathe. Like it's at some point you will want to relieve the pain.
Like I was thinking about this in terms of humanity, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh my God, are we going to, as I was saying, are we going to go extinct? Mm-hmm. And then, what really gave me comfort to think? I switched my train of thought. I was like, what if God did create humanity? Mm-hmm. Right? There's no way he's going to let this happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh.
Nice.
That feels real nice.
Yeah.
That like, I was like, yeah, if God created humanity, there's no way he's going to let us go extinct like this.
Yeah.
So either way, it's going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
But no, so back to the point of like,
do you still feel
all
the
time,
all the time,
all the time,
like not looking back at your whole life,
no,
but just looking at this moment,
all the time,
you still feel the pain?
Yes. Everything I do is on top of this.
How does the pain feel like? If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. By the way,
I'm trying
Like,
to find a good way to describe it. It's like hmm. I don't know. The best I can hope for usually is to not, like, now, I mean, with the fact that my life is like, I've taken all these different things that like I really like, that really drive me forward, right? It usually it's like a very dull sorry, I didn't make you cry, bro. Like,
no, it's okay. Yeah, no, it's not so bad. I was
like it's like how the fuck do I explain it? It's like it's like I think it's hard to explain because like I don't know what the contrast is.
yeah,
Like it's like for example, like I think about a lot. Something I think about a lot is that I'm really, 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 like, I'm really afraid what's gonna happen when my parents die.
mm-hmm.
Like, because they have been such a big part of why I have existed.
Yeah. You
Right?
said this,
And
in
I continue to
podcasts
exist.
before
Yeah,
this, that you,
yeah,
that
and like,
you would have killed yourself many times. Yeah,
and yeah, it's hard, man. Like, it's hard to like there. I have no good way of explaining this. Like, all I can tell you is like since I was a little kid, I used to spend hours in my room in the dark just crying. Just like I I didn't know why it hurt. I didn't know where it was hurting, and it just hurts. And now
yeah,
that level of like the level of pain is I can live with it. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, because like I get to do so many interesting things.
Yeah.
Like I have filled my life with I have basically filled my life with reasons to keep going,
yeah,
and that's good enough.
yeah.
And if I didn't have them, I wouldn't keep going. Existence
It's not enough.
by default is
Yeah,
not enough.
It's not enough. That is, yeah. That's so interesting. I never saw this difference but I think that's the main, or that's
Yeah, there are moments that I feel like this. Like, for example, like
the existence is enough, or
no. Actually, no. Most of the time, what I feel is gratitude. Like, I'm so glad that I didn't leave. I'm so glad that I didn't like hit escape on this game.
yeah,
Because like I've had so many like like this experience like this.
Yeah.
Like I look forward to, like, I have things to look forward to now in my life.
yeah,
I have things that for example, like I look forward to Saturdays, like every day, like
Yes.
like it's so much, like, and
Yes.
now even leg day on Sunday, like I
Yeah,
used to put
yeah.
anyway, but like Sunday
Yes.
is amazing.
Yes.
Like, and every day now is like more and more like, oh, this is good, this is worth it, like everything
Yeah.
is worth it. Like,
So, do you also feel the pain, like for example, during a Saturday when we have like a really good?
I don't
conversation?
think it's not at the top of my mind. Like,
Okay.
it's like, and I feel the reason I enjoy it, the reason I love it, is because it's like evidence. It's like every day I'm collecting evidence as to why uh to exist is good.
Yeah,
And every time I hang out with you guys, I'm like, this is why. Like, this is why.
Yeah.
This is good. Like, and it fills me with gratitude and joy, and that's great. And if I didn't have like and working and like pushing really hard, the only time I feel truly like at peace with existence is like in the middle of a rep. or like
Yeah.
a heavy ass squat, because it's like at that point I'm just like, are you like this is like every rep is like I don't want to die, right? And sometimes like when sometimes like sometimes like I don't think you ever experienced the fear of yourself hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
like like sometimes like there have been times where like I have been too afraid to be alone because I don't like I'm afraid that I'll like jump out of the fucking window or something. Like
Yeah.
that happens that
Yeah.
it hasn't happened in a long time. But yeah, so now it's good. Like, but there's a fundamental problem for a lot of people where it just hurts to exist. So existence on its own is not good enough of a reason.
Mhm.
A man who has a why can endure almost anyhow.
Yeah.
Like reading Viktor Frankl's thing that shit like changed my life. I was like, damn, this is unbelievable. So I have to have a fun. I have to believe that all this shit is for a reason.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's just pain and suffering, and that's not good. Like, what time is it?
Yeah, it's we have 2 minutes left to want to go deadlift.
Nice.
But I'm oh man, I think this is really I think this is maybe the core or one of the cores of the differences between our ways of viewing the world, because like
I think we got to the bottom of it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and it's like interesting it's there. Like I would have never thought that we find it there, but it's so yeah. There is this. I don't know what
I will think about it more.
Yeah,
I will. This is good because like now I can think about like maybe existing is. I have to think. I have to think of a way to think existing is enough.
For me, like okay, this is if there's ever a situation where you need me, you call me, and no matter where I'm, bro.
Thanks.
Just keep existing for me, okay?
Okay,
please.
Bro,
Please.
I wouldn't miss leg day for anything.
No, for real. Please keep existing for me. If it's not, I know your parents are also, but also
absolutely. No, this is good. This is like I also like I had to take actions to have think about it, right? I had to think about the series of actions that I had to take to bring someone like you into my life.
Yeah,
it's a long fucking road.
Bro.
Right? Just existing wouldn't have got me there.
Yeah.
So
true. But it's like one thing, the thing about thinking about it, like for me, I can just like the fact existing is enough. Existing is good enough. Like for example, like suffering is something else, but if you just think, for example, last Saturday when we were in the sauna and we were doing our NSDR, and like you were laying on the benches and I was standing, I was looking at the sunset and I was breathing, and I had another of those moments, because I sometimes have moments where I realize that I exist, and that is really crazy that I exist, and I just like I felt that like the cold wind on my hot skin, because we just came out of the sauna. I felt the cold wind, and it wasn't a particular good feeling, but it was a feeling. Like I was like, wow, I can feel something. Like,
no, I had
like,
this.
This is like
I get this feeling. I completely understand what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So wow, I feel something. Like I breathe in. Wow, I can feel how it feels to breathe in, and like this alone is so special. Like it's so like
it is special.
Like how does it feel like something like this?
It's necessary but not sufficient. Like actually, I had the same feeling on Sunday night. I was like laying on my couch. I was before bed. I read. I didn't listen. I wasn't listening to anything, and I like closed my eyes and I was like, I just want to feel this moment, like what I'm doing right now. Just
Yeah.
Just be in this exact moment, and how does it feel? And I was like, I just smiled. I had a smile on my face, and I was like, feels pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, and I, in the moment I was like, yeah, everything's okay, like. Yeah, everything's okay, and yeah, it was just like I was laying there. I was like, I was thinking about, like I went to Albert, like I had the similar moment. Like I went to Albertine, and I bought everything I needed to buy. And I was like, I was so fucking grateful. Like I was like, I cannot fucking believe I have enough money in my fucking bank account. I can just buy the food that I need to buy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so fucking happy.
Okay.
Right?
There's the difference. Like, I agree with this kind of happiness as well.
Yeah.
With this kind, but what I was trying to describe is not that I'm grateful that I see a beautiful sunset, or that I'm grateful that
Just exist. Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like literally, like I'm the thing is, it's so hard to say for me. Is I've never, or if you say from a position out of good feeling, like I'm grateful for everything. Like I want to say I even want to be grateful for pain, But of course, it's easy to say in the moment when you don't feel pain. Like if you really feel pain, you don't think like if I stick like a knife into my hand right now, I won't be like, nice. Amazing that I can experience
it'll be out of your
pain.
mind to feel
This
this,
is like this is so amazing that I can experience things. Like no, like in this moment, like when I had like this mild discomfort of the cold wind, I was like, amazing that I can exist. Like amazing that I can feel things that even if they don't feel perfectly good, like it just feels like something. This is amazing. Like, but there's a difference. Like if you stick a knife in your hand, you're not gonna sit back and be like, amazing that I can experience how it feels that a knife sticks to my hand. You will be like, fuck, this hurts.
Yeah.
And so what I was trying to say is just like it's not that I'm like grateful for the situation I'm in. I'm trying to be just grateful that I am. Like grateful that something is, not that something is good or something, that just grateful for that something is, not that something is good, not that something is, it's not good that I have
the grocery thing was not like was not like, oh, this is great to have money to buy food. It's just like I was just like, it was just like this sense of,
I also get this like that is good.
No, it's a sense of like it was possible.
Yeah.
Like I believed I believed this could happen. I took a leap of faith in myself.
Yeah.
And in I believed that the structure of the world was such that if I do A, B, C, D things, I would get to this result. And then I got here and I'm like, and then it's like, oh fuck, man. Like it's not everything is not just a fucking corrupt, painful shithole. Like if you do A, B, C, D things, and you will get it works, right?
Yeah.
Like to have that feeling that, oh, you understand something about the mechanics of the world. Oh, okay, because that's the only feedback.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, if I do these things happen. Oh, right, okay, cool. And that was nice. And like existing on its own is something I have to like. I don't think I've actually ever experienced this feeling.
Yeah. It's before we end this, I want to, like, this pain that you feel, like how I really want to understand this. Like, is this? It's like, I'm a little bit afraid to ask you because I don't want like to.
Yeah, no, it's like
to make it.
Dude, yeah, and I don't want to make it sound like some fucking like like, oh, this insane thing I'm dealing with. Like it's not like that. It's like,
I think probably many people.
Yeah, many
like,
people deal with
not-
this.
I
Many
think
people deal with this.
Probably like
Many
like,
people deal with this. Billions of people deal with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
And it is this. I don't know, man. Like, I always think of this like it's like an inside joke.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one day I'll die, and then I'll go meet God, and God will be like, I fucking got you. You know, is that funny much I did to you? I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, it was just a joke. All the pain was just a joke. Like it didn't really matter. And I'll be like, the fuck? Why the fuck did you do that? But then it's hard for me to explain what it is that I feel, because it's like, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I will think about it more, and when I have a good way to explain to you, I will explain it to you.
But yeah, okay. That's the thing that there was the difference. Because if God would be like, if I would like die and God would be like, hey, how was it? I would be like, and he's like, oh, it was all totally meaningless. And then what you did, I was be like, fucking amazing. Thank you. Like, thank you that I could experience this meaningless thing.
Yeah.
Like, because I couldn't experience.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that's the difference. If you,
It's hard to explain.
it's hard to explain, but
You just need a reason to get out of bed in the morning, man.
yeah.
You know, this
maybe
is
it's
the-
also like maybe also a little bit of over dramatized, right? I don't know. Like that if you talk about it a lot, then you can talk yourself into like feeling or
No, I mean, this is
or like-
I mean, I've spoken about this.
Yeah,
I've
okay.
spoken about this
Yeah.
for years, so it's
Yeah,
not
okay.
like this is not a
yeah, I believe like one thing. Can't this be like, okay, this is like a weird question maybe, but isn't this like basically how we feel, like how I believe like where feelings come from? It's just like chemicals in our head. Like, oh yeah, now there's a little like bit of dopamine, so I feel good, or now there's a little bit of, I don't know, something else, so I feel like stressed. Now there's something else, so I feel like everything is like the feeling of meaningful is just the feeling of different like neurotransmitters mixed in my head. And if I would have like the right mixture, I could just like have like
Yeah, I mean, of course.
something that
Like,
can-
I mean, otherwise the antidepressants I'm taking wouldn't
Yeah.
work.
yeah
Of course, this is the case.
yeah
Like, I feel way better when I take. Like, I'm so glad. I'm so happy
yeah
that I can sleep at night. Today I feel great. Like Saturday night I slept well, pretty well.
yes, because
And
we
then
did
and
like
then Sunday
crazy.
night I slept really well.
Yeah.
And then last night I slept really well. This morning I
Yeah.
woke up, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm full of energy. Like, you know,
yeah
like it's good, man.
yeah. So do you think it's just, or is it just possible that for some reason that you are like, oh, okay, this is maybe weird, you say me if I'm totally like bullshitting, but that you are like just born with a little genetic difference,
of course.
and this just this little genetic difference makes like that you have more of this, like there's
Yeah, this is. I
this
mean,
one negative
It's possible.
feeling,
It's very possible.
thing that like is maybe a little higher in your head than in my head, that I was just like born without like
It's very possible.
and it's just like, yeah
It's very possible. But we also know that just changing like to a certain degree, just changing the way you frame the world can change. Like, we know this.
yeah
Cognitive behavioral therapy wouldn't work otherwise,
yeah
right? But there's also a reason why some people need pharmacological help,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like it's just not enough
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
right?
100%. Bro, Udesh, I love you, man.
This is good. I think we really like got to a good point where we can understand each other.
Yeah, I can't wait to deadlift.
Let's go.
I'm so ready, bro. Thank you. This was amazing.
You're welcome, bro. Thanks for having me. All right. Nice.
This has been a Rational Optimization podcast. I hope you learned something. Guys, I made something cool. On my website, I made a list with my favorite episodes. So if you haven't listened to all the episodes that I already made and you want to know where to start, like there, I listed like in the rank of how much I like them, all the episodes. And I regularly, like whenever there are new episodes that I really like, I update the list. The link is in the description. Enjoy.